Experienced a lot of my first last, my last home game in the shoe, my last, meal maybe at the facility with my brothers, my last away trip. Um, so there's a lot of last, so it's definitely bittersweet. But I'm just grateful to God for the opportunity that we're able to be out here, all the adversity we fought and all the hard times that we've been through, just as a group, especially the senior class, just with the opportunity to be able to cap it off the right way, it means the world to me. Yeah, I think I think time will tell. Monday would definitely be a great closing, but I think I've done the best I could to represent Jesus and how I play, and that's really how I view success. Numbers come and go, but the way you make people feel echoes in eternity. That's a saying that Coach Hart has always hammered home to us ever since I was a freshman. So just really trying to leave my legacy, other than just the numbers that I put up. Um, that's a great question. I've never even thought about that before. Um, Maybe if you come back to me, I'll have a better answer for that. Yeah. They feed us the same thing every pregame, so it's just spaghetti and meat sauce. So that's really what I stick to ever since I was a freshman. Best taste in music would be um, who normally gets the ox? Like Kojo Ansui, we give him the ox a lot. Um, yeah, I'll say Kojo, wide receiver. Yeah, it would be a great feeling, but I'd really like a national championship more. So that's really all I'm focused on. So doing whatever my team needs me to do to be successful in that aspect is what I'm going to do. So whether it's me having 20 catches or zero, I'm going to be playing my tail off on Monday. So you can bet on that. Oh, I can't. The microphone. I don't know if the microphone's working or not. I can't really hear you. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I think when you're playing in stages like this, you do have to take a second and recognize where your feet are. I think it's important to be in the moment. We work so hard to get here to the national championship, so just to treat it like any other game, I don't think is right because it is a big stage. But you should be able to embrace that and soak that in and recognize all the work that you took to get here and be grateful to it. So this whole team, we're grateful, we're thankful. You got to take a second, and smell the roses, and we just look back on the season and everything we've been through, and we just trusted God with everything, with the plan He had for this team. And He pulled through in a miraculous way. So it's really about just about playing confident and free on Monday night. I would say obviously personnel changes year in and year out. They have talented guys littered across their roster, but I would say, a lot of their personality and their tradition and the way they play the game has stayed the same. Ever since I've played them since I was a sophomore, they play the game really hard. They play it the right way. Um, when it comes to execution, they're coached really well. So obviously, they're going to be a great team every single year. So I think 30 years down the line, you're going to see the same thing just because of the culture that they build up over there at Notre Dame. So I have tremendous respect for them, and I think they were the other best team in the country, so they made it to the national championship. So I think we get to see the two best teams in the country face off on Monday night. Just what you want. I mean, yeah, I would definitely say so. I don't know if that comes off as bias or not, but I think he's the most explosive person I've ever been around in my life. I just think when he sees a crease and he hits it, there's not a single back in the nation that can match really what he does, and just his selflessness and the way he approaches the game. If you cut on his pass blocking film, I mean it's outstanding. So if I was a scout, if I was a GM, I'd definitely be buying stock in Travion Henderson. Yeah, he's a guy who, he came into the locker room and you can instantly tell he has a lot of football under his belt. Very confident guy, a true leader. And just when you have that at the quarterback position, leading your entire team, it makes your team just play a whole lot more confident in your ability and your ability to execute and everything like that. So Will is definitely a great leader for our team. I'm so glad he was able to come here out of the transfer portal and have another chance to, cap off his college career the right way. And I think he did nothing but good things for himself. I think he improved at the game of football when he came here. I think he got better at throwing the ball. He got better at reading the defense. He got better at running and commanding a huddle. And he didn't come in like some transfers come in, like thinking they're the guy and all this type of stuff. He came in knowing he needed to get to work, and he did exactly that. Yeah, I think that this format definitely gives you opportunity to be able to prove yourself if you fell short in other areas. But I would say, my first three previous years when this 12-team format wasn't a thing, it's not like we knew the top four teams were going to get in or weren't going to get in, and you would have another chance. We knew what was at stake every single game. So I think that's just what happens when you fall up a little bit short. So I think that whatever the format is, no matter if it's quote unquote fair or not, or whatever the term you want to use, you have to go out there and execute at the end of the day. So I think the years that we fell out of the top four before this format was a thing, all I can really say is that we should have won those games that kicked us out. There's not really another way to put it. I would say, it's good. I think that we're all just, relishing in the fact that we're here in Atlanta. This is kind of, where we dreamed we would be and where we worked to be. And, for a lot of us seniors, it's our last game, our last trip together. So I think there's just a lot of great memories that have already been built. And we're just going about this, just really cherishing each other's time together. And we're ready to, play for each other on Monday. Yeah, we've definitely took a second to reflect, like you're saying, but at the same time, the job's far from done. So we're still staying laser focused at the same time. But it has been a long road ever since our freshman year, and Coach Day makes sure that we're aware of the fact of all the work that it took to get here, all the prayers that have been answered, and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, I think at the core of it, we're wide receivers, so we love the opportunity to be able to just go at a DB one-on-one. But at the end of the day, whatever coverage they play, our coaches are going to have a great game plan for it, and we're going to go out there and do what we're coached to do, of course. I wouldn't necessarily say I model my game after a specific player. I think I'm a student of the game. I'm obsessed with learning about football and all the nuances of it, and I try to take something from everybody. I don't think, there's not something you can gather from, someone who's great's game. So there's not one specific player that I model my game after. Yeah, I think, in previous years we probably would have been out the playoffs for sure. And we knew that, kind of going into that game, we had done enough to maybe get in. And, that didn't make us complacent in any fact. We just didn't execute in the Team Up North game, and that is what it is. But we knew we had to get that game behind us because we were going to have a chance to win it all. And now we're staring in the face of the greatest opportunity of our life. So we can't be thinking about negative things like that. We're just all forward thinking. Good. How are you? Let's see. Yeah, Cotton Bowl is pretty good. Rose Bowl is always a good one. Tennessee. I mean, there's not really a game that Coach Day isn't fired up after we win. It doesn't matter really who we play, because winning's not easy in college football. It may look easy if we play, an inferior opponent, but there's a lot that goes into the preparation that we do and the work that we put in, just to be able to score a touchdown. I mean, all 11 guys on the field have to be doing their job. So I think there's a lot of unseen things that go in, and a lot of people think there's a lot of individual effort out there, but it takes our whole team. I mean, everyone back there should be up on the stage just as much as I am getting this interview, because it takes everyone to be able to get to this point. And I think that's the culmination, and what you see in winning is that it's hard. It's not easy to do. So Coach Day recognizes that, and he's able to celebrate victories with us. Yeah, I think every chance that we have, that we face, adversity, I think Coach Day does a phenomenal job of evaluating where he's at and learning how to get better. And that adversity can come after a loss, but it can also come after a win. The main thing that we focus on, even after winning games, is that the issues are always there. You have to be able to identify them on film and improve from them. That's just not from a player standpoint, but from a coaching standpoint. What calls he could have made better, what coaching adjustments he could have made better. So he's always learning and growing, and he's a much different coach from when I was a freshman to when I was a senior. So just seeing him develop in a way that you normally would like to see your players develop, he's also taken to heart, and I think that speaks to a lot of the success that our team has had. Of course. Yeah, I would say that a lot of players that I come across really have amazing game memory, and I'm not one of those guys for some reason. I do remember it was a battle. It was a really hard fought game. Obviously, Georgia was an immensely talented team, but I remember just putting our foot to the pedal on offense from an offensive perspective, firing on all cylinders. And, the pass game was clicking. C.J. Stroud was unbelievable in that game. We just ended up coming up short. So ever since that game, I think the main thing I learned is that you can never leave it up to one play, 1 inch, because that's going to be the difference in a win or a loss. So I think there's things that we could have done in that game to maybe, put Georgia out a little earlier, to where, the comeback that they rallied in the fourth quarter wouldn't have made such a difference if we had just executed a little better. So that's really what we've been focusing on. Yeah, absolutely. I think, we kind of did that in the Cotton Bowl last week. And, I had a pretty bad memory from there last year. And just having that different memory to replace that definitely felt amazing. So we have an opportunity to do the same thing in Atlanta. I remember, after the Peach Bowl, there was a lot of emotions, a lot of things happening in the locker room, and just a lot of things that I was feeling, and just the opportunity that God has given me to be able to go out there on Monday. And like Cody said, right the wrongs, it definitely feels good. I would say just his relationships with the players, just how genuine he is, taking the advice of his players, of the leadership committee, his humility. It's hard to point out a lot of areas that he didn't improve in. I just think he grew overall, like you see from a lot of players. There's not really areas that they don't improve in when they step here as a freshman and they leave as a senior. They're really better in every facet of their game, and I see the same thing in Coach Day. Yeah, I think our university does a great job of making history, and I don't think it's any coincidence that they were the first team to win that one, and I don't think it'll be a coincidence if we handle business on Monday. So I think all these guys, if you look in the eyes of my teammates, we're all laser focused. We're here for one common goal, and that's to win this game on Monday. And I just think we have an amazing opportunity with this being the first 12-team playoff, and just showing how a team can battle back from adversity that maybe they faced earlier in the year. Yeah, I would say that I don't even recognize the person that I was when I stepped on campus to where I am now. I think my faith has played a key role in that, and God really scooped me up out of the darkness, and He's lifted me up, and He forgave me for all my sins and everything like that. I just remember being invited to church by Xavier Johnson and Cam Babb, and I was just looking for community at the time. I didn't know what the whole church thing was about, but God really scooped me up in a real way, and that faith that it took for Xavier Johnson and Cam Babb to just invite me out to church, just that invitation has permeated throughout the team. And you flash forward 4 years, and it's a culmination of all the prayers of everybody that have been answered. And you just see the faith on this team grow in a tremendous way. And I just look around it, and I'm so thankful to God. And I think that He does a special thing in your lives when it comes to relationships. And this is definitely, like you're saying, the closest knit group of people that I've ever been a part of. I don't look at my teammates as any different than one of my family members. I would do anything for them. And I think just having that love for each other and having that love for the Lord is definitely going to be what pulls us through. Yeah, I would say that this week has been a lot of high energy, a lot of focus, great practices. I think a great look in our eyes, and we're ready for the challenge. For the gift that we got when we landed on the plane, it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. You had the band playing as soon as we touched down on the tarmac. Tons of videographers and photographers out there. And then they handed us like a 2025 chain when we got onto the buses. So it was a really cool experience for sure. I think they do a great job with hosting every single year. And, being in the national championship, I think that was the first time I was like, wow, we're really playing in the national championship. Just because of the stage that it's at and how, the lights are brighter, the sounds are louder and everything like that. So it was just an amazing experience. I think just, capping off the season the right way and really my career the right way here at Ohio State. It's the same thing for a lot of the seniors. And, when you look at some of the great teams across history, they're ran through the seniors and everything that they're able to accomplish. So when you have great leadership and great seniors who are focused and bought into the program, it really becomes a player-led program. And Coach Day does his job in that, but he gives us the reins to a lot of things. And, we have every intention of ending this thing the right way. Yeah. I think that, my last year when I was making that decision, it just took a lot of prayer, honestly. I was just consulting God about it and really what He wanted out of my future and what He wanted me to do. And, I remember it was like one of the last days to announce if you were declaring for the NFL draft or coming back to school. And I just felt the Lord, challenge me in a way to say, if you come back, you're going to have this huge stage on you. You're going to have all the spotlight, and you can use it to either glorify yourself or glorify me. And I really took that to heart, and I wanted to use the season to glorify the Lord. So obviously I knew that God was going to, show up in a really real way when it came to on the field. But I think that, more important than anything that I could do on the field, more important than this national championship is what He's done in the lives of the people around me and at my university, just the revival that He started. And I think that it was very intentional on His part for me to return for that.
God bless you, brother. OH.
IO. Appreciate that.
Hey, Emeka, a lot of your teammates talk about the meeting after the Michigan game, like in the team room. What do you remember about that meeting and how I think Jack said it got kind of heated, but everybody got everything off their chest?
Yeah, I would say that Jack hit it right on the money. I won't get into the details of the meeting exactly. I think that that's a private matter just between me and my team. But you know we were able to hash out everything that has been built up on our hearts, and when it comes to people like your family, you're gonna have differences, you're gonna have disagreements, and you're gonna have to talk things out. And that's exactly what we did. And they can either build up resentment or you can come through the adversity stronger. And that's exactly what we did. We rallied together. We built up our hope in each other, our faith in the team, and our recognition that we have the pieces to be able to do what hasn't been done here in a long time. So I think just taking all those factors to heart is what you see right now. We're here at the national championship, and we're laser focused and we're ready to go win.
How much were people holding back during the season? Like their feelings, I guess. Is that what was happening, and then it kind of all came out?
Yeah, I'm not really entirely too sure about how many people were holding back and whatnot. But what I do know is that in that meeting the truth was spoken, and it was received good. It was received bad. There was a lot of emotions flying. We just lost to our rivals 4 years in a row, and when you put so much into it, I think the fan bases and all the fans and everything like that, they don't really know what that rivalry really means to us. And it's definitely hard when you work your whole life towards something and you come up short 4 years in a row. So there's definitely a lot of emotions that were going, but we're here now. We're on the big stage. We're so glad to be here. We're so thankful to be here. And everything in the past is behind us. We've moved forward, and we're stronger.
One last thing, Jack mentioned Coach J was in there. Obviously, he's received a lot of criticism and stuff. Like, how big of a topic was that in there? Just hearing it, and then what does that do to fuel the team and hear all that stuff?
Yeah, I think that he had to be in there for multiple reasons, but I think people were able to speak to him directly and ask him questions directly, and he was able to answer them open and honestly. And he was even vulnerable with us in multiple ways that I won't get into. But just having a head coach who is personable and able to level with you and be vulnerable is very powerful. Sometimes you just think your head coach is above all. And at the end of the day, he's human too. He feels emotions just like we feel. In my career since I've been here, his family has received death threats. He has received death threats. He's received male scrutiny, backlash on social media, and it's like sometimes you forget that he's human too. And just being able to level with your head coach, I care for that guy more than anything, and I wouldn't really have anyone else at the helm of our team. Yeah, it was a hard fought game. Georgia was a very talented team, and they played the game the right way. I think the main thing that I learned is just not leaving anything up to chance, not leaving anything up to one play, and doing all you can to execute in every facet of the game, just to ensure that it won't come down to a missed field goal, won't come down to a converted fourth down or something like that. We got to leave no doubt. I think the defensive guys could probably speak a little more to that. I know when I'm facing him, it's almost like his IQ and his intelligence just jumps off the field. It feels like he never makes a mistake. He's always in the right check, and he's able to do that for other guys as well. So I think that obviously he's a freak when it comes to athleticism, but I think his mental acuity is higher than most. And he plays the game at a very veteran level, especially as just a sophomore in college. So I can't wait to see what his career pans out to be and what it looks like. I just pray that he stays healthy, and I'm just so glad he's been able to become a Buckeye. Yeah, I think I probably knew about as much about him as the next guy. You hear about Will Howard, the quarterback at Kansas State, maybe doing his thing and stuff like that. But we're not too focused on guys at other programs. But when he came in, he was almost immediately immersed in the culture. yeah, it felt like he had been here for multiple years, and even like, still, just talking with him every day, it feels like I've known him my whole life. And he's really bought into the program. He's brought into the brotherhood, and I think everyone on the team would say that as well. Yeah, regardless of the coverage that the defense puts out there, we have a job to do on the field, and that job is to get open. If it's in man coverage, you have to win. You have to create separation. If it's in zone coverage, you have to space it out. You have to catch the ball, and you have to get vertical. So our job description doesn't change. Just how to get our job done changes a little bit. So we're going to do what we've always done and what we've always been coached to do, and that's just get open for our quarterback. And when it comes down to the run game, we're going to block our tails off. So whatever is asked of us, whatever coverage is thrown at us, we're going to be ready for the challenge. Yeah, I think that you have to. It's a great opportunity for college players to be able to, learn the longevity of the game, especially going into the NFL where you have, 17 regular season games. I think it is a chance for, having 22 games. That's a lot of games. It's a long season. So I think the maturity and learning how to be able to take care of your body in an effective way, keep your mind sharp over those 22 weeks and not wander, staying laser focused. So I think those are things that, everybody has kind of learned throughout the season, and it definitely has been a learning curve, but I think the guys on our team have handled it with grace, and I'm excited to see how this translates to the NFL. Yeah, I think the main thing about Will is just his energy. I mean, like, it's infectious. And, he's never worried. He's never panicked. Even in the games where maybe we've been down or maybe we would have been facing adversity, maybe he's thrown an interception, it doesn't matter. Like, he always comes back to the huddle, ready for the next play and motivating us, no matter what his current situation is. So I think that he's a true leader of the huddle, a true commanding officer. And, he really gets us clicking on all the right cylinders and all the right page.